I'm going to be brutally honest with you. What I'm about to reveal will permanently change how you understand people, power, and yourself. Your parents didn't explain this. Your teachers avoided it. Society does everything in its power to hide it. And because of that, most people will live and die without ever grasping the truths I'm about to lay out. Centuries ago, philosophers, generals, and mystics uncovered dangerous insights into human nature. Ideas so raw that rulers banned them, and ordinary people called them immoral. But behind closed doors, every leader, every strategist, every king studied them because they work. These truths aren't abstract theories. They are the operating manual for human interaction. Not the polite version, not the moral version, the real version. And once you hear them, you'll never be able to look at human behavior the same way again. People don't seek truth. They seek comfort. We like to believe humans are rational, that we weigh pros and cons, make careful choices, and pursue what's best for us. But in reality, most people make decisions to reduce discomfort, not to discover truth. Look around. A man ignores medical advice because change feels overwhelming. A woman stays in a toxic relationship because leaving would be painful. A group clings to false beliefs, not because they're true, but because doubting them would destroy their sense of identity. This isn't new. Epicurus noticed it in ancient Greece. Schopenhauer wrote that people will reject logic if it threatens their desires. And even today, psychologists confirm it. Emotion leads, reason follows. So what does this mean for you? If you want to influence people, don't rely on cold facts. Facts rarely move anyone. Instead, align your message with the comfort they crave, the image they want to protect, the feelings they already cling to. Socrates understood this well. He never argued with facts alone. He asked questions that forced people to feel the discomfort of contradiction. That's why his method still works today. The wise man doesn't ask, "What's true?" He asks, "What feels true to them?" Because that's what will shape their behavior. Loyalty is not sacred. It's strategic. We grow up being told that loyalty is everything. Be loyal to your friends, your company, your family, your partner. But here's the reality. Blind loyalty is one of the most exploited weaknesses in human life. History is brutal on this point. Julius Caesar trusted Brutus, and it cost him his life. Kings have been betrayed by their own guards. Leaders have been abandoned by the very people they protected. True loyalty is never one-sided. It's a contract, a balance of value, respect, and reciprocity. The moment it breaks, loyalty becomes servitude. Think about your own life. That friend who only calls when he needs something. That partner who demands your commitment while keeping their options open. That company that calls you family but lays you off the moment it's profitable. They're not loyal to you. They're loyal to their own interests. And here's the harsh truth. That's how most of the world works. Loyalty is conditional. Does this mean you should never be loyal? Number. It means you should be loyal strategically. Give loyalty generously, but the moment it's not returned, withdraw it without hesitation. Because loyalty without balance is not noble. It's foolish, and fools are always used. Machiavelli understood it. He wrote that it is safer to be feared than loved. Fear keeps loyalty intact when love fades. So remember, loyalty is earned, not given away. And the man who understands this will never be used blindly again. Reputation is more powerful than reality. Who you are matters less than who people think you are. Your reputation will walk into every room before you do. It will open doors or slam them shut. And here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't want the full, messy reality of who you are. They want a version of you that fits a story. Alexander the Great wasn't just a man. His reputation as invincible made armies surrender before battle. Napoleon wasn't the tallest man in Europe, but his legend made him larger than life. Even philosophers like Nietzsche or Kierkegaard became icons, not just because of their ideas, but because of the aura they projected. Strategic authenticity means choosing what to reveal and what to withhold. Show your competence, not your complaints. Show your strengths, not your insecurities. Show mystery, not total transparency. And here's the irony. The men who complain about being misunderstood are usually the ones with the weakest reputations. They think, if people only knew the real me. But here's the truth. The real you doesn't matter. What matters is the version of you that serves your goals. Want to be seen as competent? Stop broadcasting your struggles. Want to be seen as valuable? Don't always be available. Want to be seen as powerful? Stop justifying your decisions to people who don't matter. Consistency plus mystery plus controlled vulnerability equals magnetic reputation. Reputation, not raw truth, is what shapes how the world treats you. Conflict is not an exception, it is the rule. From childhood, we're told, avoid conflict, stay peaceful, don't make trouble. But this is a lie. Conflict is not the exception, it is the rule. Look around you. In politics, one group is always fighting another for power. In business, companies battle for markets, promotions, and dominance. In relationships, partners test each other's boundaries. Even inside your own mind, parts of you are constantly in conflict. Your reason fights your desire. Your discipline fights your laziness. The question isn't whether conflict exists. The real question is, are you prepared for it? The Stoics warned us about this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You will meet people today who are arrogant, deceitful, jealous, ungrateful." He didn't say if you meet them. He said you will. Conflict is built into the fabric of human interaction. History screams the same truth. Every empire that grew complacent fell to an enemy it underestimated. The Romans at the end of their empire ignored corruption and division until barbarians tore through their gates. Kings who dismissed threats often woke up to betrayal inside their own castles. And in everyday life, people who avoid hard conversations often pay a higher price later. The spouse who avoids confronting problems finds themselves in divorce. The worker who avoids standing up to unfair treatment ends up bitter and trapped. Here's the brutal reality. The man who ignores conflict doesn't escape it. He just enters it unprepared. The wise don't look for fights, but they are never surprised by them. The man who is quietly prepared rarely has to engage. Why? Because people sense his readiness. Predators look for weak targets. If you carry yourself as someone who cannot be bullied, most people will leave you alone. So what does preparation look like? It's simple, but not easy. Build strength during times of calm. Train your body when no one threatens you. Save money when times are good. Grow your skills when no one demands them. Build allies when you don't yet need their help. When the storm comes, and it will, you'll stand while others collapse. Think of the fox and the lion. The fox sees traps before others walk into them. The lion frightens wolves before they even attack. Alone, each is vulnerable. Together, they are untouchable. Be both cunning and strong. Niceness is weakness. Goodness is strength. We live in a culture that confuses niceness with virtue. You're told, be nice and people will like you. Be agreeable and life will go smoothly, but niceness is not virtue. Niceness is weakness dressed up as kindness. Niceness says, I won't upset you. I'll tell you what you want to hear. Goodness says, I'll tell you what you need to hear, even if it hurts. Niceness avoids discomfort. Goodness faces it. Niceness seeks approval. Goodness earns respect. That's why women often say they want a nice guy, but end up choosing the man who challenges them. Nice men hide their true thoughts, avoid conflict, and smile while being stepped on. Good men speak truth, set boundaries, and protect what matters. That's why leaders who try to please everyone are quickly forgotten, while leaders who make hard choices, sometimes unpopular ones, are remembered. Abraham Lincoln was not always nice. He was ridiculed, criticized, and hated by many. But he was good, strong enough to make painful choices that preserved a nation. Here's the paradox. Niceness without strength is weakness. Strength with kindness is virtue. Marcus Aurelius was admired not because he was nice, but because he was just. He could be merciful, but he was never weak. People trusted his fairness, not his friendliness. Look at philosophers. Socrates angered people by exposing their ignorance. Nietzsche attacked society's illusions with brutal honesty. Kierkegaard challenged shallow faith with uncomfortable truths. None of them were nice, but all of them were good. Good in the sense of serving truth, justice, and depth. Every man who wants to be respected must learn this difference. You can be kind without being weak, and you can be good without being nice. Niceness wins temporary approval. Goodness builds lasting respect, and respect is what endures when smiles and compliments fade. Power belongs to the prepared. There is a silent law of life. Power flows to those who prepare in silence before others realize preparation is needed. Think about it. The student who studies while others procrastinate walks into the exam with calm confidence. The soldier who trains relentlessly in peace becomes a legend in war. The leader who saves money while others spend recklessly becomes unshakable in crisis. Preparation doesn't look glamorous. It feels boring. There are no applause lines for saving money, reading books, or practicing discipline. But when the moment comes, preparation is the difference between breaking and standing tall. The Spartans understood this. They trained daily, not because they loved suffering, but because they knew war was inevitable. Their preparation became their power. Enemies feared them long before the first sword was drawn. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, practiced poverty even as he lived in wealth. He slept on the floor, ate coarse bread, and wore rough clothes. Why? Because he knew fortune could vanish overnight. By preparing in peace, he was untouchable in hardship. In philosophy, this principle is called amor fati, the love of fate. It means you don't wait for life to crush you. You expect it. You prepare for it. And in that preparation, you discover freedom. Ask yourself, what storms could come tomorrow? Betrayal, illness, financial collapse, rejection. They are coming for someone. Why not you? Unless you prepare, power is not handed down. It is seized by those who prepare before anyone else even thinks to. So now you see what was hidden. People don't seek truth. They seek comfort. Loyalty must be earned and reciprocated, or it becomes slavery. Reputation shapes reality more than facts. Conflict is inevitable. Strength comes from preparation. Niceness is weakness. Goodness requires courage. And power always belongs to those who prepare in silence. These are not tips or motivational slogans. They are raw laws of human nature. Society doesn't teach them because predictable, compliant people are easier to control. But once you understand these principles, you are no longer easy to control. This isn't about becoming cruel. It's about becoming unshakable. It's about seeing the real game that others pretend isn't being played. So remember, it is better to be respected than liked, better to be prepared than surprised, and above all, better to be impossible to ignore. Use these principles wisely. They are not toys. They are weapons. And in the hands of the prepared, they can change everything. If this opened your eyes, subscribe now, because this is only the beginning. In the next lesson, I'll show you the hidden strategies that make people desperate to earn your approval, without you lifting a finger. But be warned, once you learn them, there's no going back.